This is Kimberly Quinn, host of the Mindcraft podcast, and I can't tell you how much fun I have had doing this podcast. I started when the world closed over the pandemic in an attempt to spread some positivity out there and give people some strategies to enhance their own well-being and reduce anxiety and all of that. Now, 2 years later, we're still going strong and now listened to by 52 countries across the world. And I've even helped some of my students get going with their own podcasts. It's super easy to do. And I'll tell you, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it is the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. I'll just explain for you. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It is a ball. Start today. Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another Minecraft discussion today. It is just a gorgeous fall day, and wow, it's just beautiful. My name is Kimberly Quinn anyway, and I'm just so ecstatic to have this conversation with you on, which is very similar, related to, but not the same, obviously, as the last podcast conversation we had on lighten up, right? This one is very close because we're gonna talk about cutting yourself some slack, and I'm looking outside right now at the leaves are turning. I want to say they're late this year, but they're not late, right? That's like saying a baby's late. The baby's not late. The baby knows when he or she is supposed to exit and enter the world. The trees know when they're ready to turn, and who are we to say they're late? I guess I just part of me thinks they're trying to tell us something. Who knows what's climate change or whatever? But they're starting to turn now. A couple weeks, uh, later than we're used to. Let's put it that way. And they're just beautiful, oranges and reds and yellows, and so metaphorical for change, and also so peaceful. Just so peaceful. And it's a good time to have this conversation about cutting yourself some slack because walking outside in the crisp air and the good sleeping weather and all that, it just feels like it's a really good time to just let go of some stuff and give ourselves a break. And so my inspiration for this episode is also Richard Carlson. I'm on a Richard Carlson jag. I think you know that I have a lot of teachers. My dear friend Oprah, of course, she's not aware of our friendship, but it's a wonderful one. And Wayne Dyer for sure, Aaron Doughty sometimes, Abraham Hicks sometimes. It's just got a lot of good ones. And Richard Carlson is good as well because he writes the Don't Sweat the Small Stuff books. And there's a lot of them. They're little and they're just the kind of bite-sized piece I need, I'll tell you. And especially after the Rona virus, when our bandwidth has shrunk significantly, I think that these 1.5 page, discussions and strategies are just what the doctor ordered, as they say. And Richard talks about his goal with writing this book is about hoping to help people become more relaxed and peaceful and loving. And his goals are very much in alignment with what my goals are, which the relaxed and peaceful and loving situation is definitely where I'm at too. And of course, Minecraft is about learning to become the boss of your brain, which leads to becoming more relaxed, peaceful, and loving of ourselves first, because we can't give what we don't have, right? And then loving others. And he talks about one of the most important pieces of this puzzle is to remember that your goal is to stay relaxed, the best you can. I'm adding that in, the best you can, because we certainly don't want relaxed pressure. It's kind of counterintuitive. So the best you can, and to not get too worked up or concerned about how you're doing along this journey. We talked about, being on the authentic path, which is definitely the one I'm hiking on. And and I hear it with my Minecraft students sometimes. I make a point of saying it when I'm teaching them mindfulness. We're doing different mindfulness activities and we're doing different breathing techniques. These young adults talk about it a lot, about all the pressure that, and they feel like they have to be perfect. I have quite a few recovering perfectionists actually, which thankfully by the end of the course, most of them at least report, tell, whatever, that they really let go of a lot of that. But it's very consoling to them to realize you can't, do these intentional breathing techniques or these mindfulness techniques wrong. You can't do mindfulness wrong. And the same thing with being on a journey to become more relaxed, more peaceful, more loving. You can't do it wrong. You just put one foot in front of the other. Doesn't mean we don't get derailed. Like if we're out on an actual trail, we step on a pine cone, step on a rock, trip, fall in a brook. I've done that too. Well, metaphorically, of course, we can have setbacks because life's going to keep happening. They're not going to say, gee, Kim's on the authentic path or she's on the relaxation path or you know, everything's good, all set. No, if anything, we have, more curveballs happen because the idea is to grow and learn how to love ourselves and other people, right? So these obstacles just keep happening. So it's kind of a situation of not to get too worked up about it, not to give ourselves, a rating. Oh, she was an 8 yesterday. She dropped to a 6. No. Just keep going, one foot in front of the other and just sort of allowing life to unfold it as it is supposed to unfold and to just breathe deeply and relax. And so Richard says practice the strategies, keep them in mind, yet don't worry about being perfect. Oh my gosh, it's just the word. I actually literally didn't allow the word perfect, in the house when our 5 wonderful children were growing up because it's just I didn't want them to have it in their little heads. So they came up with their own things like, "Mom, I saw this per," and they say, "Oh, wait, 99% excellent." So they made things up to get around the perfect. So 99% excellent. I like that, right? So it can be great. It can be greater than great, but we don't want to strive for perfect. It's just a bar we can't reach, or just at least not continually, right? So then Richard says, cut yourself some slack. There will be many times when you lose it, when you revert to being uptight, frustrated, stressed, and reactive. Get used to it, right? So we talked about responding versus reacting. Reacting is that knee jerk kind of thing that we fall into because we do when we're angry, we're just pissed off or hurt or tired or hungry or whatever. And then there's the responding end, which is the more slowed down, put together, kind of transaction or interaction or whatever, which is usually way, 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 way better because we've taken time to observe the facts, breathe a little bit, decide to maybe let the conversation go, don't even have it because it's petty and stupid, or it's a conversation that has to be had, but we can have a little bit different spin on it because we've taken some deep breaths, walked around the block versus just bang, knee jerk, That's when loose lips sink ships, as they say. Um, and he says, when you do, react, he said, it's okay. Life is a process, just one thing after the other. When you lose it, just start again. And actually, this has me thinking of Wayne Dyer, who I love. He's in my friend circle with Oprah. Sadly, he's no longer with us on this earth, but he certainly is with me. I'll tell you that. I'm inspired by him all the time. Um, when he talks about there being no such thing as failure, there's no such thing as failure. And Oprah says it in a different way. Same thing, different kind of context or different kind of manner. He says there's no such thing as failure or mistakes because we are just people. We are human beings, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So we're walking around as humans, right? Just simply producing results. We are producing results based on whatever we're thinking and feeling, and then we act on the thinking and the feeling. We produce results. Those results then point us in different directions, and that's all that's happening. When we label them as mistakes and failure, this doesn't help our progress, right? We're just human beings producing results. And then Richard says one of the most common mistakes I see when people are attempting to become more inwardly peaceful is that they become frustrated by little setbacks. An alternative is to see your mistakes as learning opportunities. I guess we just said that. I should have read ahead. That's okay. Where it's like review. An alternative is to see your mistakes as learning opportunities, ways to navigate your growth and perspective. Say to yourself, whoops, I lost it again. Oh well, next time I'll handle it differently. I have to tell you, this is kind of a little bit funny thing, but and my youngest is also in the Fast Mind Club with myself. So remember that I don't embrace, enjoy, or even acknowledge word disorder because it's stupid and shameful. So instead of ADHD, it's the Fast Mind Club. So my littlest is, who's now 22, is in the Fast Mind Club too, and she and I call it volcanoing when we snap and just get caught up stuck in emotion and we just get frustrated and rah, and it's like a it's like a thunderstorm on the ocean. It comes in like on a tirade and it's done and over in 1.3 seconds. And then we just move on and almost can literally forget about it within an hour. And so I like to think of the volcanoing. If we have a volcano, if we actually use it as a verb when we volcano, okay, we volcano, we got frustrated, we got stuck in our emotion. Even though we've gotten really good at not doing that, it's going to happen on occasion, right? And just get over it. Okay, I guess that was just a reminder that we are part of the human race and who cares? And so the hell what?